What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of Player Ratings. We lost 1-0 yesterday at the London Stadium to West Ham in our fourth London derby defeat of the season. Let's get straight into it, and let's start off with Hugo Lloris. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 6. I thought that he made one important save early on from Fornals, but apart from that, I think he hardly got called into action, did he?
Actually, I think my rating was wrong. I shouldn't have given him a 5, but
what should you have given him?
I probably shouldn't have given him. I could even given him as high as a 7, because I remember that save just before the goal we conceded was absolutely top draw save. The reason I gave him a 5 is I couldn't really remember too many things he had to do. And I didn't think there was one moment he flapped at a few corners. But thinking about it, I actually think he had a pretty decent game, and he made some important saves. His distribution was all right as well, nearly setting Tottenham on some attacks. So I think he had a decent day. So that save from Fornals with the deflected effort was a top draw save as well. Fingertips.
All right, let's move on to Emerson Royale. Sim giving him a 5. I gave him a 4. I just didn't think he did anything to really impact the game yesterday. Going forward, I thought there was nothing in there from Emerson. I thought maybe he was just maybe not losing possession willy-nilly, but just sideways passes, backwards passes, and, like his other counterpart on the left-hand side who was bombing on forward, I thought he failed to do that. Although he did try to do that, I just thought he failed to do it.
Yeah, I thought he was okay, nothing special. I thought he was pretty average throughout, wasn't really able to influence the game in the final third. Defensively, I thought he was fairly sound. I think Fornals troubled Spurs when he was cutting inside, but wasn't really down the wing. I thought from that side we were fairly comfortable. So not his best display, definitely a step down from his Villa game and his Newcastle performance, but still was okay.
All right, let's move on to Christian Romero. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 7. Mine was more like a 7.5, but I thought he was very good. Definitely one of our best players on the day.
7.5 rounds up to 8, just saying.
Yeah. No, look, I think that Romero had a very good display yesterday, being very aggressive, stepping up from the defence, doing a real good job on Antonio. There was that one moment when he went marauding forward into the opposition half and really should have done better. Maybe picked the wrong pass. Instead of going for Son, he went for Kane. There were a few iffy moments where he was getting muscled off the ball from Antonio, but all in all, I think he dealt with him superbly well. And yeah, good display.
I thought he was brilliant throughout the game. Yeah, a couple of shoves from Antonio away from probably a 9, but out of 10, I thought. But I thought he was absolutely. He was a catalyst to our attacking play a lot of the time. Romero. He would win the ball, and then Tottenham would spring, and we would create opportunities and openings. And I thought the way he dealt with Antonio was absolutely fantastic by and large. And I thought he was super aggressive, so on the front foot, just waiting for the pass to Antonio so he can cut it out. And I thought throughout the game, he was the main shining light to me. And I thought, again, another really strong showing from Romero.
Let's move on to Eric Dyer. 7s all round from us. I thought it was a good display from Eric Dyer alongside Christian Romero. I thought there were some really important blocks in there, really some important interceptions in there. And I thought he was just... it was just a really good calming display from Eric Dyer with no mishaps in the game.
Yeah, I thought he played really well, actually. Again, another strong showing. Him, Romero, developing a decent partnership together. His passing could have been a bit better at times, but also I thought he was able to find Regulon on a few occasions, and I think he did some really good blocks and clearances. And I thought I was really happy with actually his display. I thought he played pretty well. I think Romero pretty much took Antonio, but he was mopping up really well. Yeah,
he definitely was. Let's move on to Sergio Regulon on the left. 6s all round from us, and I thought it was a good display from Regulon. He was bombing up on that left-hand side really well, providing a really good option attacking-wise on that left-hand side. Going back the other way, I thought he did fairly well pretty much for the majority of the game, but it was his... he gave the ball away to Fornals, which did result into the corner that led to their goal, which wasn't great. But apart from that, I thought he did a really good job. Like I said, going forward, he provided a really good outlet. Most of the time was a poor ball in the box, which was disappointing, but he did get some good deliveries in the box, which we should have done better from.
Yeah, I remember a couple, one in Dombele, whose header went straight to the keeper, another one from Kane, who forced a really great save, Al Fabianski. That was a great ball in from Regulon, just hangs it in there for Kane to run onto. He should have found Skip in the second half, which would have been pretty much a chance right in front of goal for Skip if he finds him, which was really disappointing. But he was the one really charging up that left wing the whole game, and he was stretching the opposition, and he was making West Ham think a bit differently. But that mistake for the goal was really costly, unfortunately. It ended up being a goal, and he just no need to do a rush of blood to the head. He does really well to intercept the ball, and then I don't know what he's thinking to try and dribble past Fornals there. He's got two men free to his right-hand side, just has to lay it off and then maybe continue his run, but he decides to be clever.
That was the blot on his performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, the biggest one, and unfortunately it cost us.
Yeah, it really did. Let's move into the midfielders. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 5. And he was a very good presence in that middle of the park. Very combative, very aggressive. But for me, what let him down really on the day was his passing and his distribution. It was awful, really. I don't know what the stats are, but literally from what I remember, the majority of his passes just either went over Regulon's head or just misplaced passes.
I don't think it was that bad, his passing. I think it wasn't maybe up to his usual standard, but I thought generally it was okay. Probably could have passed it a bit quicker. Could have been. He wasn't as involved going forward. I think Skip was the one given a bit more license to go forward than Højbjerg, it seemed, in this game. We're used to seeing Højbjerg in the past few games in the final third a bit, at least a few times during the game. Didn't see too much of it in this one. But I thought in general he was okay. I thought he battled well with Souček and Rice in the centre. And I thought he had a decent game.
Yeah, which moves us over to Ollie Skip. 7s all round from us, and I thought it was a really good display, really aggressive, combative display. Like I said for Højbjerg, but I think he had a bit more quality about him, Skip. And there was that one moment just in the beginning of the second half where he went marauding forward and really could have created something. He was getting in good positions. He was in that good position for that Regulon cross, which was just behind him, where if it was a better cross, he would be getting on the score sheet on the day. But I just thought he provided a real good presence for us in the middle of the park, and really good display from Skip, and it just shows why he's one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment.
Yeah, he played some really quality passing, setting up opportunities from Ollie Skip, and I thought him and Højbjerg did all right actually during the game, to be fair. And I think in transitions they're really strong and able to turn the ball over and pass the ball forward quickly. I think Skip's forward passing when we do win the ball back is really sharp and can get the ball rolling very quickly. Obviously that ball through to Ndombele was brilliant just after half time. I want to see more of that from him.
Yeah, which moves us on to Tanguy Ndombele. 6s all round from us as well. And I thought it was an okay display from Tanguy. Obviously, by his high standards, we expect more from him. But I think all in all, it was a good display. I think it was a hard day for him against a tough West Ham side. But I think he was getting on the ball. He was strutting his stuff. Not as much as he was maybe in the last game against Newcastle, because he just wasn't allowed that much time on the ball. But I think that he was providing good moments for us. But I do call on him to provide more from us and provide better quality in the final third for us.
Yeah, he was probably our brightest spark in the final third, to be fair. And I remember that chance that we had for Skip. I thought he was brilliant in that move, like doing a little nutmeg on Rice, little forward move to Lucas, who goes on and creates a chance for Regulon, who we should have scored. And I thought he does some really good passing moves. Should have found Harry Kane in the second half with a really good opportunity when Skip released him down the right-hand side.
That was so frustrating.
That was really unfortunate, but I thought he was the one looking like he could create something for us, but unfortunately couldn't make the most of some of the opportunities that were able. He did seem to drop a lot deeper in this game than against Newcastle. Against Newcastle, he seemed to be a lot further forward. Wasn't able to get too many attempts on goal. I think he had one chance with the header in the first half, but decent display, but leaves you wanting more.
Definitely. Heung-min Son, 4 from Sim, a 5 from me. And I thought he was just tirelessly working for pretty much the whole game, up and down that left-hand side. There were moments in defence where he made some really important tackles. There were moments up front when he was getting in some really good positions and our other attackers failed to find him, where if they did find him, you're probably talking about 1 or 2 Sonny goals on the day, and everyone's going to be waxing lyrical about him. But there was a moment where he took the shot on where he really should have squared it to Harry Kane, where that would have been a goal. But all in all, I'm happy with the effort and I'm happy with the desire from Heung-min Son. I just wish that the other players would have found him better.
Yeah, of course, he always works hard, Heung-min Son, but unfortunately it was just one of his off days, I felt. Played a bit more centrally, actually, I felt, in the second half, trying to create stuff with his passing. Wasn't able to do much. should have squared it to Kane, as you say. Kane also probably should have squared it back to him, or should have done a better pass back to him in the second half. But apart from that, he didn't influence the game enough. Sonny, unfortunately, didn't get enough shots on goal. Son has such a lethal shot from outside the box, couldn't manoeuvre any opportunities to make use of that. And I thought it was a poor game, to be fair, all round actually from Sonny, unfortunately.
Harry Kane, 4s all round from us, and I thought it was a poor showing from Harry Kane. Another poor showing this season from Harry Kane, where he was actually getting involved. He had a chance with that header. He had a chance. He had a couple of chances throughout the game which he didn't take, and there was a few chances where he should have been getting better crosses into the box, which he failed to do, too close to the keeper. But I just felt that he just wasn't providing positively for the team, nowhere near enough as he should have been, especially with the positions he found himself in.
Yeah, I remember that one great pass into Sonny as well during the first half, which was a really good through ball, out of the needle stuff, and that just shows the quality that he can bring. But unfortunately, we didn't see enough of it. Every time he got the ball, he was crowded out. I felt a lot of the time when he tries to dribble, and every cross that comes into the box, apart from that one in the first half where he beats Cresswell to the ball, he's Ogbonna and Zuma are just dominating in the air against him, and he has no chance. And unfortunately, again, wasn't able to get many shots off from outside the box or inside the box. And obviously the goal, doesn't react quick enough to proceedings from the corner, doesn't get in front of Antonio, allows him to stick a leg out. And all blots to another poor performance from Harry Kane, unfortunately.
I mean, that one's the big one for me, the one from the corner right at the end. And Hugo Lloris, I don't know if you saw his interview after the game, he was very angry about it because he was saying, we all stayed at home, not going to Europe for the whole week. And the whole week we were training on what West Ham are good at, and what West Ham are good at are set pieces, and we still let in a set piece.
Yeah.
So very frustrating. But the last of the starting 11, Lucas Moura, 4s all round. And I think it was a poor display from Lucas. It really was. When you compare his performances the last couple of weeks to now, I think definitely quite a lot worse. I felt like the link-up play just wasn't there for Lucas Moura. I felt every time he got on the ball, he was trying to take on the whole West Ham team by himself with no success. So poor display.
Yeah, he had a couple of moments really the way he influenced things. Once where he played through Regulon to find Skip, who should have he played for Regulon, who should have found Skip. That was a good moment from Regulon. Nice little through ball, very similar to the ball he played to Kane last week at Newcastle. And there was one moment in the first half where he has a shot from around the penalty area on the turn, doesn't catch it right, and ends up going way over the bar. But that was another good opportunity to influence the game. But apart from that, his touch was a bit sloppy, I felt, actually, in this game. It wasn't the best performance, unfortunately, from Lucas Moura. Wasn't linking up with the other players like he was last week. So need more from him.
Yeah, the substitutes, Brian Hill and Lo Celso came on for the final 5 minutes, but it was just a little too late. The game was already gone by then pretty much, even though it was only at 1-0. But that brings us on to Nuno, the manager. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 4. The reason I give him a 4 is that because I felt like the way we play football, I mean, the personnel that we have on the pitch, we should be doing a lot more with the ball than we're doing it. We should be doing a lot more from progressing the ball from defence to attack to leading chances. The only way we're creating chances at the moment is on the transition when West Ham lose the ball, when players like Christian Romero aggressively win the ball in the middle of the park or just down in the defence. So that seems like the only way we can create chances at the moment. And the only way we're progressing it from the back is either, like I said, with Romero stepping up or the defence playing a long ball over the top to Regulon or to another player, with Harry Kane, something like that. So for me, the tactics are not great. I think that the tactics are really not doing us any justice, and I think that we can be creating a lot more chances if Nuno gets the tactics spot on. Another thing which I mark Nuno down is for the substitutions. Every week we seem to be saying it at the moment, but he's not having the foresight to see the game the way it is. Everyone else can see, like, if it goes on 0-0 any longer, all it takes is for a set piece to West Ham to take the lead. But Nuno waits for the things to go wrong in the game and then changes things, where he should be a bit more proactive. So that is what I got to say on Nuno. But having said that, I do think we were the better team on the day. We did create the better chances on the day, and we definitely should have got a better result.
Yeah, that's what I'll give Nuno credit for. I think tactically, actually, the setup and how the game was going for the first, I would say, hour was we should have been in the lead, and Nuno will be very frustrated that we didn't score at least one goal and have the lead. And once we have the lead, it's a different game to the one which obviously panned out. Unfortunately, we never got that goal. You can see from our player ratings who was most at fault with that, with the the attacking players getting very low and the defensive players getting decent ratings. So I think that bailed out in how the game wore on. But I think Nuno's got to work on how we are in possession. I know West Ham are a very good side, so it's not easy to break him down at the best of times, but we have to at least ask them some questions when we're losing and maneuver the ball and manipulate the positioning in certain ways, so to ask West Ham questions, and we just weren't able to do that. I know they're a difficult team to play against, but you got to at least fashion something, and we had absolutely zero. Yeah. And we had 20 minutes. It's not like we had no time. 20 minutes is a decent amount of time in football to create something. We just weren't able to do that. That's down to the coaching. Subs should have been made earlier. I agree with that, but I'll give him a bit of credit because I do feel like with his tactics and the way we set up the team, we should have won the game, and it's not totally his fault we didn't. I think he was probably let down from a few moments, but still, we expect more.
Yeah, definitely. So that is our player ratings. Let me know in the comment section below what your ratings are, and if you agree or disagree with our ratings, let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.